Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's Sunday Reset. And to start off, I want to tell you a short story about something in my own life. There was a time, years ago, and that I was in a relationship with someone that was not good for me. One of the things that can happen when you leave an abusive relationship is the more distance you gain from the relationship, the more time you spend outside of the relationship, the more you become aware of things that you, like red flags that you ignored, or just plain, like you just missed it. In my case, it was ignoring. It was just blatantly ignoring what was in front of me. One of the things that really came through with time was we would always take the train, and usually either he would take the train from his job to my house and I would meet him at the train station and walk with him to my house, or I would hop on the train and we would ride it together to his house. And this was like around COVID, so people were masking and things like that. This was important. But whenever we would have the days where we would go to his house and I would get on the train, it would always be like just weird. Like there was always some weird energy. And there was one conductor in particular, it was a woman. She's kind of short. She had glasses. And again, it was COVID, so she always had a mask on, and I've never seen her face. To this day, I have no idea what she actually looks like. But whenever she would check my ticket, and she would, they click the little marker and put it in the back of the seat, or they hand it to you if you're not in the seat. And whenever she would check my ticket and she would give me the little marker, she would say, "Have a good day, okay?" That was all she ever said to me. Like we never had a conversation or anything like that, but those were the only words she ever said to me. And I remember that the guy I was dating told me, oh, she was being really racist to these young black kids before on the train. And of course now I realize that was something that he would do when he didn't want me to talk to someone, or he would use that as a way to sort of make me to keep me away from certain people. But of course, the woman had been nothing but nice to me. She had always been like I said, all she ever said to me was "have a good day," but she was never rude. She was always really kind, and I'd seen her with other people, same thing. She was never rude to anyone. So I didn't heed what he was saying at all. And I was like, well, whatever. All of that, at the end of the relationship, looking back on those times on the train, I realized that it was because he was not being faithful on the train. I'll just say it that way. I ended that relationship. And a year later, I just happened to be taking that same train from my job. And I heard the click, 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 the conductor, and the voice saying, tickets please. And I recognized her voice, and I turned when she got to me, and she looked at me. Again, she was still wearing a mask. I was wearing a mask. And she checked my ticket. She gave me the little marker, and she said, "Have a good day, okay?" And I could see that she was like smiling because her eyes were like this over the mask. Again, those were the only words that she had ever spoken to me. But the tone of those words and the change, it went from when I was with my ex, that sympathetic, like, just not pity, I don't want to say pity, but like, you know what I mean, just that the way you talk to someone when you know that they're in a place that they don't belong and that they deserve better, and that you're just hoping that they see it, to thank God you made it. All of that to say, for this week's Sunday reset, I'm the kind of person who avoids talking to other people. I'm a hermit, almost to a detrimental level. But where I am currently, there are people who have drawn me out a little bit more, and they made me realize how important it is, even if, like the conductor on the train, you only say, have a good day. That could mean so much to someone. And it's like, to me in that moment, when I was dealing with the dissonance of what my intuition was telling me and what my heart wanted to believe, and having someone gently acknowledge that my intuition was correct. And even though I didn't immediately take action on that, it did sink in every single time I saw her, every single time she gave me that look and she said, have a good day, okay? Yes, small talk is sometimes frustrating and boring, but something that came up a lot for me when I was in culinary school, because it wasn't Johnson and Wales or like a big school, it was a smaller school, but all the instructors always said, you get out of this program what you put into it. So if you want to get a solid foundation education, you can get that. If you want to treat this like it's just, community college, then that's all you're going to get out of it. And the same thing applies to interactions with other people. Even if all you say is, hey, how are you? I'm good. I'm fine. How are you? If that's all it is, if you allow it to mean more, and you understand that it might mean more to the other person than you realize, it can be something worthwhile, and it doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't. Again, I know I don't like small talk either. I'm not a small talk person. I promise you, I am speaking side by side, but it can mean the world to someone. Those small interactions in passing carry a lot more weight than you think they do. So even if you really initially just want to kind of sidestep people or avoid the water cooler chat at work, give it a chance. And again, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you want it to be something that creates a bond, it will create a bond. That's what I have. Thank you so much for sitting with me. I hope that you have a good weekend. Or no, we're at the end of the weekend. I hope you have a good rest of your week and that you are well. Thank you.